session as well. So I want to thank Aaron, who I met at various Manitorium Zoom, and he connected me. And Bill, if you're 50% or even 25% of what Aaron said you're capable of, then I'm very excited to get to know you. So you've been put on an almighty pedestal. So hopefully, like I said, as long as you're 25, 50%, then you're a major hit. But
I'll
why don't
do my
I
best.
give a little intro to myself
Yes,
since I'm
please.
hosting this, and then Bill, I'll listen to you. I'm Leong Ying. I born in Singapore, but I spent most of my life in England, in the great city of Liverpool, who's going to be
Ah,
champion of the Premier League, hopefully next week. So
and
I'm ecstatic. Uh, but like a lot of the Brits, I emigrated to America in '93. But before I emigrated, I got the British to pay for my education. I got my PhD in nuclear physics at Liverpool.
yeah.
And then I emigrated to America in '93. And then I basically went into the commercial world. I worked for various organizations from multi-billion dollar companies like Thermo Fisher, I think they're 40, 50 billion, to mom and pop shop. I like working with the mom and pop shop because I get to wear a lot of different hats, to be honest with you. But whether it was a midlife crisis or whatever it is, but 2015, I sort of got sick and tired of the corporate world. And I created this global organization called Our Collective, which you can see the logo behind me. So we are active with a lot of members in Africa, predominantly, Asia, where my ancestral roots are from, but of course in Europe, where I spent 30 years of my life, and of course North America. So various activities include, for example, one of our members that we're working with are going to be building a new international airport in Nigeria. Lagos is the Lekki International Airport. We are also having an agreement to put on a grand festival in Hawaii. So that's a major music festival, and our stars include like Jamie Foxx, or our proposed stars include, sorry, I forgot, but Jamie Foxx is going to be a major host. He's a comedian. He also, it's our goal to have him film a series for his Netflix television series. We're going to have a lot. So that's in the pipelines. There was a lot of activities, but one of them is Minotaurium, which is a streaming platform. My wife, Andrea Wen, apologies, she's not here. She's actually with friends for Easter Sunday, so she's enjoying herself. But she made the award-winning film called The Man Who Met God, which is about me because I'm the crazy nutcase nuclear physicist who claimed to have scientifically proven God. I'm that arrogant, yes, arrogant, insane, or whatever. But I put my money where my big mouth is, and I published the God Book in 2018, which contains new mathematics that logically defines God and new science that experimentally proves God. And my arrogance is so big that I even proclaimed that one day I'll win the Nobel Prize in Physics, not because I say so, but because the science that I developed is the only current science that not only discovers or proves God, but it also can qualitatively, but more importantly, quantitatively explain all the cosmic unknowns, such as dark energy, which explains the expansion rate of the universe, dark matter, which explains the rapid rotation of galaxy, missing antimatter, and even quantum entanglement. So that's where my arrogance comes from, is because I've written equation using my formulas to make predictions, which are coming to fruition. In fact, 20 or 30 years ago, when I came up with this twin universe idea, my fellow scientists were laughing at me and saying how pathetic I am. But if you follow mainstream science, you'll be aware that a lot of the scientists now are jumping on the proverbial bandwagon, and you may have heard like multiverse, parallel universe. So a lot of the scientists now are. Now, I don't claim that I'm the first to come up with, the twin. In fact, the yin yang thousands of years ago, and even the Greek philosophy existed that of the duality. So I don't. But obviously, what I've put in is the new formulation, the equation, which basically makes these predictions, which matches current observation. I've said that's where my arrogance comes, where I say I'll win the Nobel Prize. Not for my arrogance, but ultimately this will lead to the proof that there is this single omnipotent consciousness, which is my scientific definition of God. But anyway, this film is now streamed exclusively on Minotaurium, and this comes full circle is where I met Aaron. And now Aaron has said what an amazing person you are, Bill. So now I'm going to listen to you and see where the divine dot joins us, and where perhaps we can aid each other in, doing what we want to leave a proud legacy before we leave this earth. So, Bill, over to you. Or maybe Aaron. So, Aaron, apologies. You're the one who introduced, so maybe I should let you have a foreword first.
No,
Before
I'll let Bill go, and
Bill.
then I'll weave this together how I feel divine needs to be go. So go ahead, Bill.
All right.
Okay. I'm interested to know what was in your mind, Aaron, in introducing us, but thank you. And by the way, I don't see what you've said as arrogant. I see it as very interesting, and I like it. I haven't studied neuroscience and haven't studied the science that you have, because I don't have a scientific mind in that sense. I've studied human beings, and through the art of neuro-linguistic programming. Now, I don't know if you know much about NLP, but it doesn't have a very good press, really. It's especially if you look at Wikipedia, it rubbishes it. And so I don't know where they got their information from, because it was a deep study done in the early 1970s, really, of how people communicate with themselves and one another to a very deep level. And really, that's what I've practiced ever since about 1988, when I came properly into contact with it. And I'm a trainer of NLP. I've assisted John Grinder, who's one of the originators of the science, for 13 years in training other trainers of NLP. So I've trained and been involved with the training of about 500 trainers. I'm separated from all that now, and I've set up my own alliance, like an international alliance of trainers who train coaches and train NLP courses and so on. So that's my kind of, if you like, claim to fame in terms of my expertise. My expertise is in human beings, and I got involved in peace work, as Aaron's probably spoken about, through thinking, well, what can I apply my capability to that is about as difficult as it gets? And I decided peace work is it, because peace work is almost impossible, really. And so, and I have some experience of resolving conflicts on a fairly big scale, like with the Red Cross and things like that in the past. And so I feel as though I'm qualified. And I have a different view on peace resolution and conflict resolution, which is, it's the human beings who get themselves into trouble. It's the human beings that are going to get themselves out of trouble. And I don't bother with the conflict itself. I bother with the human beings and what they think and how they come to agreement. Even if they agree to differ, it's still an agreement. And that's really what I'm about. So most of my concentration and work these days is on human beings and how they operate, and on helping them operate when they can't. In other words, helping them make changes that improve things. So I don't like the word coaching, because it's not the right word, really, but coaching is the word everyone uses. So,
Well, education, enlightenment,
what it is, they're all words. We have a particular language structure called nominalization, and they can mean many things according to who you speak to, and so it doesn't really help. It's just so I prefer to say I talk to people and I help them find solutions. And
All right. Well,
that's probably this way, really.
as you know, well, we're in great conflict, dark times these days. There's, the disturbance in the current world that we exist in, and I have to be say that this side of the pond here in America, where I live, is a great disturbance right now.
Isn't
Uh,
it? Yeah.
but the paradox is like every cloud has a silver lining. So the paradoxical of that is that there is opportunity. It does make people, at least the good people, the people that want to seek the truth, so instead of blindly going through life, is this darkness is making people want to seek the truth. And that is what my ultimate goal is, not to be the most famous. And by the way, I thank you for being so observant. I always say I'm arrogant, but again, maybe I am arrogant by saying I'm not arrogant, but I just I like putting it out there because when people hear me for the first time, I think that maybe that's the first impression. But I'm very focused. I'm very determined in my mission. Goal is like I'm just hooked on this addictive drug, which I call my God mission, which is to deliver the knowledge and truth. And I think this is where Aaron sees it, because to deliver knowledge and truth to human, you have to communicate to human. And that's one aspect of Aaron that's Bill, that he said of you, is that you're such a great, awesome communicator. And you're absolutely right to manage this conflict, to make people even on opposite polarity to come to some kind of agreement, even like I say, even to agree to disagree. That's at least a stepping stone. And that is where, again, I want to deliver I am a publicity whore. I'm not ashamed of saying that, right? I am a publicity whore for God. I'm here. I'm 63 years old now. Maybe I have another 5 years, 10 years, hopefully another 20, whatever. But whatever the time it is, I am just so dedicated in getting my message out, whether it's through the movies, whether it's through these various projects that I'm working on. And that's why I'm so keen to hear from you, a man of great communication, and what you accomplish, and see how we can perhaps work together, collaborate together, and especially in this turbulent time, use the skill set that you have to perhaps at least bring some kind of healing to this world. Because I said to you, there are people out there, desperate people out there, that do want to listen, So like I said to you, the disturbance, burning down Rome, etc., is making people sit up and take notice, those that want to, and that is my goal. So is something that I want to move forward on. One thing I'll do is, pardon my ignorance, I'm not familiar with the NOP. I will read Wikipedia. Even though I do agree with you, that's not exactly the greatest of source, but it is a free source.
That's right.
It is a source. And like I said to you, so I understand where you're coming from. As I mentioned, 20, 30 years ago, when I told people my scientific proof, they were laughing at me. They stopped laughing now. So once you continue persisting, getting your information out there. And I said to you, I'm willing to debate with any scientist, anyone. Like I said to you, I'm not relying on faith. I'm relying on equation. I'm relying on mathematics. And 2 and 2 is 4. So that's why I can shut a lot of people up, because I say, here's my equation. If you're that smart, then prove me wrong. And I'm willing to, for you to use logic and for you to use science, because that's one of the beauty that I think I bring into my argument is, I don't have your charisma. My wife would tell you I'm bad-tempered ogre. I can be a foul-mouthed, Lilliputian. So I'm not the most ideal person for conflict. In fact, sometimes I start conflict with my big mouth. So but But I do have a big brain. God gave me only two things, a big brain and a huge mouth. And that's the two things that I'm going to use for the remainder of my life to deliver my message. And perhaps I need someone of your caliber who can speak to humanity without shouting at them and screaming at them, and like I do, and help me to deliver the message, and likewise for me to do likewise for you. So yeah, so it's a great opportunity, and this is a great introduction. Moving forward, like I said to you, we'll do a little bit more background research. I'll send you more details over to you. I I don't have your contact info, Bill, so maybe you could send that to me, or Aaron can forward that to me. I'll send you this recording as well, by the way, and AI will do the summary. So I'll forward you the recording of this important detail, and then we could discuss about how we can, take the step from talking to walking, because that's the next step. So anyway, Aaron, now that you heard from both sides, is this what you were thinking of, and how do you think you can further proceed with myself and Bill in making this happen? Aaron, over to you, sir.
Cool. Bill, if you want to drop your details into the chat there, it might be easier for Leo to grab them, instead of going back and forth. Second of all, yeah, this is what I'm imagining. When I heard you, I know Bill for a couple of years on various projects, including a project him and I are on in Ireland. So I know Bill very well, and I've heard you, Leo, on a few things, and few points you said struck me where this would be a good collaboration between you and Bill, and see where this goes. So. Um, you know, I think that the context and the projects you're doing and what the expertise and the knowledge that Bill has could be a perfect fit. Do I know what that is? No. Would it happen? Yes. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm exploring this, but I do see symbiotic synergy between both parties here.
Well, that's great. Just to give you a heads up, next week I'm going to go be meeting up with the mayor of Newark. Newark is a major metropolis here in New Jersey. So the reason I mentioned this is a lot of our organization are working with government entity. So on Exam Monitorium in September, it's my goal to put on a parallel summit through our collective. We've done UN summit before. And the reason why I picked September is the 80th session of the General Assembly meeting of world leaders here in the United Nations. So our goal is to promote Monitorium as a global platform to allow a lot of creative artists. And we've been talked about country expansion into Nigeria, where we have a lot of influences. In fact, we're working to invite the president of Nigeria to come to our Monitorium gathering. So if I can pull this off and get this UN parallel session in September, maybe this will be a great opportunity, Bill, and obviously Aaron, you're invited. But Bill, where you can come on board and and help to communicate the message that we want, which is deliver, peace, harmony, and love to this world. Of course, like I said to you, I'm a bit rough around the edge on delivering those. I tend to be very, like I said, very logical and very scientific, and and sometimes, like I said to you, I don't have that talent. Yeah, I'm very articulate, as you can hear, but there are ways of delivering message, and I'm sure you're aware that will make various parties listen, especially those in conflict. And as I mentioned, we do live in a very conflicted world right now. So I think a person of your talent, Bill, is perfectly ideal. And Bill, I do have your email. Thank you for including that. Aaron, do you have an email? Could you put that in the chat group so I can email you the summary as well? So I have both your email. What I'll do is I'll email you this recording. I'll email you the AI summary, and then I'll write action plan. I'm very business oriented as well. I said I've been in business for 40 decades, so I like to basically have an action plan, not just a meeting for meeting's sake. I want a meeting that has ideas and ways to move forward, to proceed. Otherwise, to me, a meeting is a waste of time. But I think this meeting is an exceptional meeting, and like I said to you, I'm very, very excited, Bill, to be introduced to you. And I think I said to you, we potentially have a lot of things that we can develop together. So, Bill,
Actually,
is there anything that you want to comment on?
Yeah, there was another thing which I created quite a few years ago now. Well, in fact, around about the same time I came in contact with NLP, and it's called future basing. It's a method for making a vision of the future, but a very organized vision of the future. And it's particularly good at use with groups. So groups, organizations. So for example, I've used it back in 1997 with the Red Cross to create a vision for the Red Cross worldwide movement in the year 2010. And so it was like 13 years ahead. It was 1997 that I did that. And there were 50 people in the room. So with 50 people, they created a vision between them of the worldwide Red Cross movement 13 years ahead. So future basing is a pretty powerful process. And so maybe I could tell you something about that. In fact, I've got an ebook which explains what makes it so powerful. Would it be helpful if I sent you that?
Please. No, I love that. Please. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'm going to email you and Aaron this recording and AI summary report, and then you could send me a copy of the ebook. I'll send you and Aaron a copy of my God book as well, the one that I claim, contains the new mathematics that logically defines God and the new science experimentally proves God. And so you can see a little bit where I'm coming from. So yeah, so why don't we digest the information that we're going to share, and then maybe I'll set up a follow-up Zoom once we get a bit more grounding. And like I said, I'm excited on your future base, how that can be implemented within what our collective organization is trying to do. And then we'll take it from there, And like I said to you, even though I'm a scientist, I'm very fatalistic these days. I genuinely believe that God do deliver people into my life for whatever reason, and through Ashkan, through Aaron, now Bill, through you. So there's a reason, sometimes the journey we go on isn't always smooth road, as I'm sure you're aware. There's bumps and we fall off and we get on. But there's a reason to everything. There's a greater cause. And I think this greatest cause now has brought us together for a great reason for humanity, especially, like I said, in this dark time. So thank you again, Aaron. God bless you for introducing me to Bill. Thank you, Bill, for spending the time and effort to talk to me. And I will send you this recording and we'll take it from there. And then I'll set up a follow-up session. And then this time I'll hopefully have my most talented wife. Like I said, she's the one with all the talent. I just have the big mouth. So take care. God bless. Much love and peace to you, and Christ our blessing to you all. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.